Hi, so today we are on match number 15 for Bryan Danielson's AEW run. Last week we had him against Colt Cabana at AEW Thanksgiving, and he's still on his run through the whole Dark Order to get to Hangman in their title match, which will be coming up. Winter is coming. So this week we have him against Alan Angels, the Dark Order's member. And this match isn't long again. At the start of it, at the start of it, Hangman comes out before Bryan. Hangman's on commentary for this match. And Bryan enters immediately doing his arms out to Hangman on commentary. Then walks down. Alan Angels follows. They both get cheers. Alan comes out with all of the Dark Order, including Brody Lee Jr., which is nice to see. And then the match starts. The match starts with giving Alan Angels a little bit of credit for his lockup work and holds. Normally, especially with Evil Uno, even Colt Cabana, Bryan's been able to handle the joint manipulation very quickly and easily at the start of the matches. Alan Angels makes it a bit trickier for Bryan, but once Bryan gets it in the, himself, up and go, and he forces Angels into the corner, just laying into him and just basically playing for the crowd a lot more. Honestly, it's a bog standard match for Bryan in terms of his heel work. It's still great. The later it gets on, it's phenomenal. But he keeps, doing the arms out and stuff. Keeps going for, the locks and that, kicks and chops, really, which clearly do a number on Alan Angels. Hangman isn't really saying too much on commentary. I feel like they cut to shots of him now and again looking Stanley. But the main thing is, towards the end, he's just, Bryan's doing the whole, this guy? This really him? And, they're clearly angering Angels. And then he's, stepping out the ring, clearly taunting the guy. Angels gets him in the corner. And Angels does get a little run, which, as you expect, isn't, the worst thing in the world. Gets a few moonsaults in there towards the match goes on. Bryan does evade one, however, and then lands the Psycho Knee, going for the Juji Katame, but Angels getting the ropes a lot of the time. Bryan's still holding on, being a lot more vicious, and again, a lot more condescending than Bryan. He's really a dickhead in this one. I love it. The guy, Alan Angels, still puts up, a decent fight, tries to get a bit more going, but it just isn't working. And then, towards the end, Bryan, after a second attempt at moonsault, Bryan, he misses it. Bryan gets him and goes to kick that. He goes instantly, no, as he does usually, sets up the head kick and does it again. And then it goes a bit more vicious. He normally holds both hands, but towards the end, he started holding one and just started going at it. And then after that, he still does the no. And then he just continuously, it was like the armbar. I don't think it was the Juji Katame, unless that was the Juji Katame and the other one wasn't. I thought he was going to go for the crossface, to be honest. And he doesn't let go again after Bryce taps. At this point, Hangman's calling for Bryce to ring the bell previously, and he never. It's quite a short match, quite a bog standard. Again, just more build for Hangman and Bryan, which I'm never going to complain about. And then after it again, Bryan's being a lot more condescending, going like that again, putting his hand to his ear and stuff. I love all this. Gets the mic after Shivani comes in, and Shivani basically says, I don't know why you're waiting to face Hangman. You're more than ready. And then he goes, I don't know, Shivani. And he's just basically gloating about how much he's kicked the Dark Order's head. And then he's got one more match next week with any of the Dark Order. And then in 2 weeks, he's going to go up there and kick Hangman's ass in where Cowboy Country is. And then Hangman goes, I've had enough, throws the headset down and goes to walk down. And then when he's walking down, this shot's hilarious. I'm like, what's going on? Because there's no physicality, apparently, according to Tony Khan. John Silver comes up. I think John Silver's hilarious anyway. The guy's such a toddler, and I love him. And he goes, Hangman, you can't touch Bryan, but I can touch Bryan. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And he runs down. Bryan's waiting there. And Bryan runs out the ring, and John Silver's waiting. He's like, what? And then he goes, do you think I'm going to share the ring with you? You are not worthy to share a ring with me. You are a joke. This is perfect. Heel Bryan, I love this condescending prick that is the guy that Bryan Danielson is as a heel. It's perfect. And then, so he basically says it straight, you are not worthy to share the ring with me. You are a joke. Who are you? Do you think you're worthy? Get out my sight. And just giving loads to Hangman. And He walks up the ramp. It's a great shot. He walks up the ramp and goes face to face with Hangman, who's waiting, standing there, eye and eye, but staring at Bryan. And Bryan goes, I know Tony Khan said you can't touch me. We can't touch each other. But I know you want to slap the shit out of me. And that'll get you suspended. And I'd love it. And then Hangman fronts him going, I'd love to do it. Let's just do it right now. And then they're staring at each other. And then Bryan just walks away and goes, you don't get the chance or some shit. And he does the arms out after walking out. Bryan gets booed relentlessly once the match is over. Even when he's on the mic, he's getting booed like hell. And that's the end of the match and the segment. Again, it wasn't the most longer match. It wasn't really the most effective. It's just another repeat, but there's no problem with that. The fact that Bryan's running through these Dark Order guys is excellent, and he's clearly getting under everyone's skin. The fact that the crowd is booing Bryan Danielson for his excellent heel work is great. Everything about this I love. That again, the John Silver stuff that I love the most about this match and segments, in the sense of you think you're worthy to share the ring with me, because that's Bryan. He's a purist. He's a condescending dick, and he will not respect you. Again, all the pointing going, this guy, come on. Even after it, he's doing the taunts with the muscles, but he even goes, this guy pointing during the pin and stuff. It's nuts, and I love that. I've said it in every other match that I've done with the Dark Order so far. I love it. It's perfect, and there's no complaints from me with condescending heel Bryan. There's one more match after this where he faces a Dark Order member. I think it might be John Silver. And then he has the Hangman match. But still, everything that this has been so far, this build's been really enjoyable. Even though I'm only watching it match by match, it's still great. Honestly, this is so far the best stuff. Brett's the first true feud for Bryan. I know we had the Kenny stuff when he entered AEW. But they put that out the guys showing his true colours. That's what Shivani and Excalibur are kind of saying now since he joined. So I love the rivalry between Bryan and Hangman, and obviously it's not the last, but I love it. I love it all the same. So yeah, that was Bryan versus Alan Angels. Not the longest of matches, but the segments after, again, it's kind of a repeat what we've had so far, but there's not any problem with that. I love it. I love condescending heel Bryan. It's just growing and growing. Again, you worthy to share the ring with me? Oh, perfect. What's your opinion on this match? What's your opinion on Alan Angels? I've not really heard of the guy. I know the name, but I've not watched them before this match. And yeah, onwards with the next. I think it is John Silver. It surprised me if it isn't John Silver.